our first trip out today is going to be, first destination will be to Michigan City, Indiana, just to get on the road, get out of town, and be gone. And then tomorrow we'll pick up and continue moving on over to Kearney, Nebraska, and then after that over to Taos, New Mexico. So, you ready?
Yes, I've been waiting all year for this trip.
Starting Friday afternoon, we hit the road with one goal: get out of town. Our first stop is Michigan City, Indiana, a quick overnight to kick things off. Saturday takes us across the plains to Kearney, Nebraska. Another overnighter in a peaceful little town so flat you could probably roll a marble and watch it go for miles. The next day, Sunday, we're on to Taos, New Mexico. For much of the drive, the highways stretch long and straight, pleasant but uneventful. It's only when the Rockies start to rise through the haze that the real excitement starts to begin. Taos is just ahead.
Good morning, everyone. It is September 28th, about 10:30 Mountain Time. The reason we're getting a late start is because on the way into Taos, we started having a lot of problems yesterday. We were getting low voltage errors, other miscellaneous electrical error messages. We're also getting a very loud vibration at about 5,000, 5,500 RPM, especially when the engine's just starting to transition from one gear to the next gear. And I don't think it's the alternator at this point, which I've spent time in. So where are we heading to now?
We are heading up towards Cirillo, JB and Company Auto Repair. He said, he was available to take a look at it. Calling around to a number of different places. A lot of places are booked.
Every place I called, there were 2 to 3 weeks out. Well into October, and obviously being 1,600 miles from home and no place else to go, 2 to 3 weeks isn't the preferred choice. So we're going to hightail it over to see this gentleman, see if he can at least give me a diagnosis so I've got a clue what's going on, and we'll go from there.
It's all part of the adventure.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Well, it is now
2:53.
On the 18th still, right?
Yeah, still the 18th, fortunately.
So earlier we were not feeling really happy. I certainly was feeling very down. We were having problems with the Jeep. I generally view making sure the vehicle is mechanically sound and whatnot for these trips is my responsibility. Kim takes care of a lot of other things, but the vehicle is me. To start running into what seemed like cascading problems the last 24 hours was really hitting me hard, especially since it looked like it might put us in a position of scrapping the trip. So we were able to find a gentleman.
JB and Company Auto Repair.
Yep, I believe it was John, if I remember right. He was able to go ahead and diagnose what was going on for the Jeep with us. The short version is it turned out to be the compressor clutch for the air conditioning, and that was what was triggering the error messages.
Having dealt with Jeep issues finally, a full day of wondering what if, we were able to just clear our minds finally. At 7,800 feet elevation, I'm guessing the base of the storm was no more than 1,000 feet above us. The birds chattering on one side, the rolling thunder. The feeling is like being in the storm, as thunder would start to our right and then do a rolling rumble all the way to our left. The thunderstorm was awesome, but as the big raindrops were starting to hit us, it was time to move on, and pretty darn quick, we were in the thick of it. Fortunately, as we continued along the New Mexico BDR, the Backcountry Discovery Route, the rain went one way, we went another way, and we were soon blessed with a mostly dry trail, just damp enough to keep the trail dust down.
Can you take a picture of the cows? I don't know why I want a picture of the cows.
And of course, there are those times where you're driving down the trail and you look out the left window and you go, "Ooh, I gotta take a picture of this." And this is what you get. It'd been a really long day, starting in Taos, having the Jeep diagnosed, then finding and traversing a nice section of New Mexico's northern BDR. We enjoyed some beautiful country, but I gotta tell you, it was now time to find camp.
let's go check out the road less traveled.
The short take this evening was we were tired, and sometimes it takes a while to find a campsite, and by the time we did, we weren't doing any more video. We'll see you in the morning.
Morning, everybody. It's September 19th. It is 9:29, and we are greeting you from, I'm not even sure where we're at. All I know is we're at 9,500 feet above sea level.
We're at toward the northern end of the New Mexico BDR, Backcountry Discovery Route. So like Kim said, we did spend the night at 9,500 feet. Actually fared pretty well. For me, it was a little bit of a rough night, a little bit of a headache right now, but I think as soon as we start heading down a little bit, that'll probably fade.
So with a bit of rest, some blue skies and bright sunshine, and changing terrain, and it's like a whole new world to explore.
And me without my license for fishing. We're down at about 8,244 feet now. Beautiful, quiet morning. Blue skies, fluffy white clouds. Probably prep lunch soon. Not sure what that's going to entail.
So after that little break, it was time to start making some more progress. We needed to be moving north and a lot west so that we could be positioned in southwest Colorado by the end of the day. As we continued through the day, our blue sky slowly got a little bit more cloudy and cloudier, an issue that would make itself apparent later in the day. And as we climbed, probably about 1,500 feet higher now, signs of water erosion, puddling, and whatnot started becoming much more apparent. There's a reason why we enjoy exploring, because you never know what you're going to find. And as we rounded a corner, we stumbled across something rather unexpected.
Oh, this isn't what I expected to find up here.
Yeah, railroad. Wait, come back. Okay. This you don't see. We're at 9,119 Cumbus.
So scenic railroad.
Wow.
Having returned to pavement so we could expedite our move west towards southwest Colorado, the weather changed really quickly on us. I don't know what happened to the audio for this track, but we were getting pelted by slush balls. And you can see by the sky just how quickly the temperature and the weather and everything was changing around us. Pulling off into this parking lot, you can see straight ahead of us the wall that's about to hit us. We hoped to find something to shield us from us. We got pelted, we got nailed. It's the noisiest we've ever heard it in any of our vehicles. We just got beat on like a drum. I was really amazed later on to check and see that we had gotten no damage. I thought for sure the hood was going to be just pockmarked. There are things that make you smile. As we've been navigating the wild mountain weather, now we're tackling this steep hill climb. Passing the 65-mile-an-hour sign, I'm thinking, the engine's wailing as we're pushing just to hold 55, right on the edge of detonation, I think. By now, we were several miles into the San Juan Mountains, well into southwest Colorado, and it was well past 6 p.m. We were long overdue finding a campsite for the night. And this peaceful, pretty moment wouldn't last. Just a few corners ahead, we'd be facing more gray skies, rain, and temperatures dropping into the 40s.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I don't know what date it is. My watch is charging.
Wednesday, the 20th of September. I debated bringing my dumb watch, regular analog solar battery powered deal. And I like that because it just works all the time. You don't worry about it. It's just there. But brought the Apple Watch coming to the mountains this trip because I wanted to be able to check oxygen saturation levels in blood, so your blood O2 level. But the problem is you're living with having to charge this thing every 12 to 18 hours. And I got to tell you, after about the fourth day of doing this and worrying about keeping yet one more thing charged, ditch the Apple Watch. It's not worth it. So anyway, it's up to you. What are we doing?
Well, I was just going to say, I like having my Apple Watch, and I did like that fact.
Boy, I like mine.
Take two.
Smart ass.
So we had the battery die on it, so we had to swap out the batteries. So what I was saying is I like my Apple Watch because then I can keep track of the vitals since we're up in altitude. There's also stuff called Boost. It is a oxygen canister that you can buy. We have some of those on hand just in case we have any issues at the altitude. It was cold last night. We went through a lot of snow, rain, and it got down. What did it go down to? Like
39 overnight.
39 overnight. We decided to forego the tent and sleep in the Jeep. I think we only had to start it twice throughout the night. It wasn't actually that bad. We didn't have the wind blowing on us. Made packing up and stuff easier today. Today we are going to be heading back down toward Durango. So we'll see you on the trail.
Okay, enough blah blah. So as we left our campsite, we had a choice. Turn right and go down the pavement and head toward Durango, or turn left and go see where the end of the mountain was. We decided to turn left. Thinking this was a rather freshly graded road, we were about to find out just how freshly graded it was. And yes, soon enough, we found the end of the mountain.
Nice looking street in Durango, Colorado.
Yeah, a lot of mature trees.
Been in Durango for a bit of lunch. We both liked what we saw. We want to come back. Leaving Durango after a late lunch, we had some time to make up. We needed to be in Ouray by the end of the day. Kim and I had heard of Silverton for years and passed through the area a few times, but this was our first time actually stopping in. On this gray, chilly, windy day, the town felt like it had two main roles: a regional refueling point and a stop for those looking to play tourist in an old western mining town. Getting late in the day, it was time to continue onward toward Ouray. Leaving Silverton at an elevation of nearly 7,800 feet, we would descend 1,500 feet as we traveled along Highway 550. The 23-mile trek is one tight turn after another, one picture-perfect moment after another, even on a gray day like today. While it should have taken us about 45 minutes, construction just before we reach Ouray would make it something over an hour today. And now we'll end part one of our travels. Part two, we'll pick up with the 2023 Ouray Jeep Jamboree and the rest of our trip. It only gets better from here, trust me.